welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple weeks, so I apologize that it's been taking me so long to get this out to you. But I asked on Instagram for Yins to send me any kind of questions you would want me to answer for a Girl Talk QA. And let me say, Yins delivered. Now, my QAs, I don't use a camera for my videos. I always use my phone. So, because of that, I can't be on Instagram pulling your questions back up, so I always write them down. Usually whenever I do the QAs, I'll pick the best questions that you have. But since we're doing something totally different and we're doing a girl QA, I pulled every question that you asked me, so I am actually going to answer all of them. Number 1, I saw Simple Plan is coming to Pittsburgh. Are you going? Yeah. Yes, I am, and I'm very excited because I got VIP pizza party passes. So it's actually my sister and I who are going. It's her graduation present because she's set to graduate mortuary school in September. And she likes Simple Plan almost as much as I do. So I was like, hey, I got his backstage passes pretty much. We're going to actually meet Simple Plan and New Found Glory. And oh my god, it's like a dream come true. Like, I've always wanted to meet Simple Plan since they first came out back in 2002. And I'm just like, I'm excited. I'm so ready. Let's see, what is your favorite Gymshark set? I really like the Adapts. It's like anything that's Adapt I'm in love with, like whether it be the Adapt Ombres or the Animal. But I really like the training, especially the shorts and the hoodies. I'd say a combination of those two. Like, I kind of have like a little bit of everything. I do know for a fact though that the Energy Seamless are really cute, but they're not really, I don't know, like I just wasn't like a big fan of those. So I'd have to stick with the Adapts, honestly. Like, those are always like my go-to. How do you and Andy meet? Okay, so I did message this person back and ask them if they wanted me to give you the full story or just like a short story, and it's wanted the full story. So, whenever I was a sophomore in college, I came back down to Penn State Fayette because it was only about 40 minutes from my house and I didn't have to live in a dorm room because I wasn't a big fan of that. Like, it wasn't for me. And I would always like drive back and forth, you know, like I just commuted to college. And so did Andy. Like, Penn State Fayette actually doesn't really have any dorm rooms. They just kind of have an apartment building for kids who come who don't live close, basically. And at the time, I had a boyfriend, he had a girlfriend. So like, we didn't really like know each other. But I just remember the first time I saw him, he walked into the student lounge. He had on his jeans, a pair of black Timbs, just a t-shirt, his aviator sunglasses, and a mohawk that, no joke, stood that high. And, you know, like, I looked at him and I was like, what you got going on there, you know? Like, okay. And now that was in the fall semester. I didn't really talk to him, but it was just kind of one of those, like, you know, like, the more I saw him, the more I was like, yeah, okay, you know, you're pretty cute. But we didn't really have, like, any classes together. So in the spring semester, we had to take an English class, and he was actually in my English class. And I'm not even joking, I didn't know what his name was. Like, everybody just called him Spike. He's still in my phone as Spike. And I remember going on the Angel website, which is how Penn State kind of, you know, that's how you could, like, see everybody in the class, and that's how you, like, communicated within your class. And I would, like, pull up the class roster. I was going through every guy's name who I didn't know, going on Facebook, trying to figure out, like, okay, what's, like, his real name? Like, what's his real name? And it was Andy. So I was like, alright. So we started talking, and we actually bonded over mutual hatred of this class. It was a night class, and it was just so long and so boring. And all we would do was just, like, talk on Facebook to each other. You know, we didn't have each other's numbers. But then the more we talked, the more we realized, like, okay, you know, we actually do have a lot in common. I like working out. He likes working out. And, like, we started going to the gym together throughout the week. Like we went Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was like a group of us who went. Like I was the only girl, but it was like him and his friends. You know, I was like, yeah, I'll go. You know, whatever. I never lifted before, and that's actually how I got into lifting, was going to the gym with him. And you know, come about March of that semester, he wasn't with his girlfriend anymore. I wasn't with my boyfriend anymore. And, you know, we just, like, kept talking, and it was one of those things where, you know, it was like, yeah, okay, you know, like, I liked him, but, like, I never told him I liked him. And I thought he felt the same way about me, too. However, whenever I was leaving work one day, he sent me a text and was like, hey, what do you think of this other girl? And I didn't really know her. So I just told him, you know, I was like, I don't know, like, I can't really give you an opinion on it. Why, what's up? And that's whenever he said he wanted to ask her out, and I was like, oh. So, like, my world was, like, shattered there for a minute. So I told him, I was like, well, you're kind of asking the wrong girl about that, because, you know, like, I kind of like you, like, a lot. And he never asked that other girl out. We just started hanging out more. April 15th, we made it official. 10 years later, we're still together, married, and have a little boy. So, that's kind of the long story, but so worth it. I would go back and do it all over again. Okay, so let's see here. I think it would be cool if you made a family Instagram. Would you do that? Okay, so I actually did. And you can go to William's Little Family is our little Instagram page. I just started it, I want to say 2 weeks ago, maybe? Kinda. So, like, I'm still trying to build it. But we are on there. It's our little family page. It's all of our adventures with Asher. And I think it's a really cute page. So you have to go check that out. How are you feeling post-surgery? Honestly, I feel great. I didn't have any pain. I don't have to worry. Like, I'm not limited. You know, like, I got, like, full range back in my arms. So, like, I'm happy about that. You know, nothing's, like, tight. The only downfall is I still can't lift more than 5 pounds. But I do have a follow-up doctor appointment on the 22nd, so I'm really hoping that I'll be able to do more. Like, I still can't work out, but overall, you know, like, I feel great. Can't really complain. You know, I know some people have it a lot harder, especially whenever they get a dual surgery done, but, you know, like, if you do, just keep pushing through. It'll get better, I promise. What's it like being a mom? Oh my god, it is the best feeling ever. You know, like, people will say how your life's not complete until you have a family, you know, like, you're not really getting anything out of life until you raise a kid, and I'm just like, no, like, you know, you're nuts. You're just saying that because you have kids, right? It's the truth. It's definitely the truth. Like, my life is so complete now. Like, I feel like I have everything I could have ever wanted, and just being able to share that with Asher and raise him into the little person that he's becoming is just, it really is the best thing you can do in life. Like, parenthood is definitely, like, I didn't think it was for me, but I would not imagine my life any other way now. Like, it's so perfect. Are you taking anything to help your hair grow? Yes. As soon as I got the okay from my oncologist to start taking sugar bear hair gummies again, I have been taking sugar bear hair gummies again. I'm also using Mane and Tail shampoo, which kind of helped my hair grow in the past. And it's going to sound really weird, like it's horse shampoo, but listen, it works. I don't use the conditioner, I only use the shampoo. But, I mean, like, it's definitely growing. Like, I got, like, some volume a little bit to it. I just needed to get a little bit longer. But between that and the sugar bear hair gummies, it's definitely working, and that's all I'm doing. I love that you still wear sports bras. I'm not wearing one right now, but yeah, I mean, of course. And, you know, that's what people don't understand. Just because I don't have anything here anymore, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop wearing the stuff that I do. You're just going to see a scar. I mean, if you have a problem with that, you know, it's your problem. I'm still comfortable with it, but, I mean, why would I stop wearing the stuff that I like? So, yeah, of course I wear sports bras. Have you started writing your final Dark Moonlight book? I kind of started, but I'm not too happy right now with the way that the first couple chapters are going, so I'm going to have to kind of like circle back and maybe like tweak something or just completely start over. But I do have the full outline, and we are hoping to have it ready for publication come early next year. So I'd like to think that maybe come spring, maybe like mid to late spring, it should be available for you to read. But yeah, it's definitely in the works. Chemo brain and pregnancy brain are both gone. I did start writing. I will keep you posted with that. Are you currently binge watching anything? Yes and no. While I was recovering from surgery, I stumbled upon the miraculous tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and I absolutely love it. Like, I love Disney, I love anime, and just the fact that they kind of like mesh together into the series right now is probably like the best combination I could have ever asked for. So I was binge watching it. Netflix had the first 3 seasons. However, season 4 just hit the United States on Disney Channel. So I've been watching it on Disney now. But they're only posting an episode a week. So it's just kind of like, you know, it's like super annoying because I would just like want to keep going with it. But I have to wait. And I'm just like, ah. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. I gotta put a fan on. Hold that thought. Were you ever in an abusive relationship? How did you leave? Yes. I wasn't physically abused. I was very mentally abused and some other things that I'm not ready to disclose yet because I haven't really told my family about it, even though it's been 13 years since I've been in this relationship. You know, I'm still not like super comfortable talking about it. But it's one of those things, and it doesn't matter if it's physical abuse, emotional abuse, or like sexual abuse. You don't really realize you're being abused until you leave, and years later you kind of see the big picture. So, you know, it's like any other abuse, you know, like they'll kind of like play these games with you. And then, you know, you start to question whether or not they actually care about you or love you. But then like the next day it's like everything's back to like normal. And so it's like, oh, okay, you know, I was overreacting. But even now, some of the things that happened to me back then, I don't necessarily like take it out on Andy, but I feel like there's still a part of me who has a hard time like really grasping the fact that Andy really does care and love me like he says he does. Like, he doesn't play these games. But, you know, like, I'm always afraid if I want to watch something and Andy doesn't, that I can't watch it if we're in the same room together because I'm afraid he is going to be mad and upset with that and take it out on me, because that's kind of how like my past relationship and really the majority of my relationships prior to Andy were. But I did leave. You know, it was my choice, and the reason I left was because I was talking to this other guy who was actually a really good friend at the time, and then like we started talking more, and like we've really had a lot in common, kind of like how me and Andy were. You know, like I really liked him. And, you know, because we all went to the same college, it's whenever we were at Penn State Erie. It was my freshman year. You know, because we were all there and it's like a really small campus, like everybody kind of knew everybody. So, whenever I left my relationship and he found out me and this other guy were talking, and like we were like starting to date over Thanksgiving break, my ex actually messaged him and told him how we hooked up over Thanksgiving break and, you know, how I was spending like all this time with him and all this and that, which wasn't true. But the guy I was talking to actually believed my ex over me. And, you know, it's just kind of like one of those things. But I did leave. And even the relationships that I had after that, like I kind of learned, like, if I'm not happy, well, I'm not going to be with you. And I just broke it off, and like that was it. I have had to change my number probably 4 times. Pretty sure my current number is the 4th number I've had. But it's so well worth it. And you just feel like so much better once you leave. Like, you're always like afraid that they're going to do something to you afterwards, which I'm not saying every guy wouldn't. You know, you do have to be careful because there are some really crazy people out there. But don't be afraid to seek help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, like, the more you're in an abusive relationship, the worse it gets. Like, I was in this relationship for 3 years, and it just, like, gradually kept, like, getting worse, like, as we were together. So, definitely, if you feel like you're being abused, or you just feel like something isn't right, you know, like, don't be afraid to do something about it. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to leave that situation. Life is too short to deal with any kind of toxicity. So, it's hard. It is. Like, I'm totally on, like, I'm being honest right now. Like, it is so hard to leave an abusive relationship whenever you don't realize you're being abused, and, you know, you're afraid you're gonna hurt other people, especially if there are kids involved. But, you know, the older the kids get, they're gonna realize what's going on. You know, you gotta do what you have to do in order to stay safe, basically. So yeah, I have been in abusive relationships. You're not alone. Do you take birth control? I did take birth control. I no longer need to, since I don't have anything down here anymore, since I had a hysterectomy done. But my favorite birth control that I was on, it was called Camel, which I think was just a generic brand of the Suzie birth control. And it was just a 3-month birth control, so I would, like, take a pill every day for 3 months. And it was fantastic. Like, my periods made me so sick that I couldn't function for about the first 3 days I've had it. So I was on birth control to kind of, like, help that. And then whenever I had the option to either get sick 12 days a year or 4 days a year, I opted for the 4 times a year. Or 4 months, rather, instead of 12 months. So I loved it. I'm not one to stop a period completely just because I'm, like, so paranoid, especially back then that I was going to be pregnant. Like, I at least had to see, like, a period every now and then. But that one was definitely my favorite. How do you help your mental health? I work out, I write, I build puzzles, I read, I play with Asher, I go on walks, I talk to people. I don't do, like, one specific thing. I just kind of do things that I know are going to help me feel good and really get, like, my serotonin levels up. So that's basically it. Short, sweet, to the point. Did you get a boob job? Well, technically, you know, depending on what you consider that to be. But no, I have never had a boob job in my life. The only thing I had done was just a double mastectomy. So I actually don't have any boobs. I'm okay with that. I don't need them. They don't really serve much of a purpose. So, you know, whatever. Any advice on how to get a gym crush attention? Honestly, like, girls, seriously, don't be shy or afraid to go talk to people. I can tell you right now, guys are more timid than you think they are. Like, they will not come over to you, especially if they find you attractive, because they're more terrified of us than we are them. So by all means, like, go talk to him. Go have a conversation with him. And if you're afraid to have, like, a conversation, like an actual, like, conversation, ask if they can spot you on something. Or, I don't know, like, if they can help you reach something on the top shelf, especially if you're short. I've done that a lot, regardless if I had a gym crush or not. So, like, just go talk to them. Don't worry about trying to get their attention, you know, like, don't whore it up at the gym or anything like that, but go over to them. How do you handle negativity? People can be really shitty in some comments on your things. Yeah. Yes, they are. But we're in social media. There's people who aren't going to like you just because you're a ray of sunshine and they're so used to rain. I'm used to that. I get that even whenever I'm not on social media from some of the people that I know. So I don't really, like, take it to heart. Like, I'll read some of the comments and I'm just like, why are you even here, basically? And, like, half the time I don't reply to them. Depending on the comment, I just flat out delete it, because it's like I don't want any other people to see that, because it's like, why are you posting this? But I mean, you're gonna have positive, you're gonna have negative, so just take the good with the bad, basically. You know, you're putting yourself out there. I'm going to be criticized for doing what I do. Everyone's always going to have something to say. Just kind of look at it and move on with your life, because there are so many other people who actually want to see you succeed and do good, and they look forward to your posts and everything else because you inspire them. I know. You tell me that all the time, and I love you for it. Let's see. If you could turn into any animal, what would you be? Ooh. Man, that's a hard one. If we're talking like mythical animals, I would love to be a mermaid. I would love it. Either a mermaid or a dragon. Both are amazing. If we're talking normal, like actual, like real life animals, I'd say probably either a dolphin or a leopard. I know they're totally different, but I just think both of them would be really cool to be. We're gonna go with that. I'm 16 years old. I'm still a virgin, but I'm getting pressured by my friends to lose it. Advice, please. Okay, first of all, you're 16 years old. I feel like so old telling you this, but like you are 16 years old. You lose your virginity one time in your life, you're never going to get it back. I will say from an abusive relationship, I lost mine not how I wanted to, but you, like, don't feel pressure to lose it if you're not ready to. You don't have to have sex just because you hit a certain age or because your friends are doing it or people are telling you it's cool. Seriously, like, wait for the right guy. Wait until you truly want to do it and you feel comfortable enough to do it and you're both comfortable doing it. If you have a guy who is going to be like, we should have sex. Why don't we have sex? Why don't you have sex with me? What are you doing? What are you waiting for? If they're going to keep like pressuring you and they don't take no for an answer, walk away, because you're going to give in and just be like, fine, whatever, because I know I have been there and it is not a good thing. That's abuse too. It's not, what's the word? It's not consensual. You know, like, don't do anything unless you're ready to, regardless of what it is. So my advice to you, just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean you have to. If they're pressuring you to do it and can't accept the fact that you don't want to or you're not comfortable yet, and they're just going to give you a hard time, like, honestly, what kind of friend is that? You know, friends are supposed to support you regardless of what kind of decision you make, not based on what society tells you should be doing or what you should be like. So, just wait for the right time. Wait for the right moment. You'll know whenever it comes. I promise. Would you go back to high school? No. Nope. Nope. No. Nada. Not for me. Tried it. Wasn't my thing. I moved on. High school? Hated it. Who would, oh my god. I don't look at these questions, like, actually, like, look at them until now. Who was your first crush? Guys, why are you doing this to me? Oh my god. Okay, so I was in first grade, and I'm not gonna drop his name just yet, but I was in first grade, and like, I thought this kid was like so cute. Like, here's like little 6-year-old Nikki, right? I was boy crazy even then, but oh my god. So we turned out to be really good friends throughout high school, and we'll still talk occasionally, like if we see each other like at the store or whatever, but like we don't actually like talk like we used to. But my first crush was Joey Janisic, and he's still pretty good looking, I will give him that. But why do you guys do this to me? Like, oh my god, Joey, if you're watching this, hey, congrats, you're my first crush. Didn't tell you that ever, but now you know, so. So yeah, there's that. Moving on, we're moving on. Were you popular in high school? Okay, so my high school was very small. Everybody knew everybody. You knew everybody in the grades. You knew who everybody was that you went to school with. So in a way, yeah, I was popular, but I wasn't in with like the popular kids. I used to be. Whenever I was in like elementary school and even middle school, like I was like in with like everybody, but then, you know, like puberty kind of hit and I was getting picked on and bullied by these people who I thought were my friends, and it was just like, why am I even trying to like talk to you guys? Like, so I was popular, but not in the popular sense, if that makes sense. Were you afraid to go into labor? I was terrified to go into labor. I remember even before we got pregnant, I kept trying to talk my OB into doing a C-section because I thought it was the easy way out. I didn't want to do anything. I honestly thought I was going to die in labor. And then Andy's sister and his cousin were both induced 3 months before we delivered. And both of their labors ended up being like 40 plus hours long. And I'm like, I don't want to be induced. Like, I don't want to be in labor this long. So we were supposed to be induced, but then Asher actually put me in natural labor that same day. So like we were going to be induced at 5 in the morning, but then at 1:45, like roughly 2 a.m., I was in labor and we were driving to the hospital anyway. But honestly, labor was cake. I was in labor for 10, like from the time I started whenever we were at my house still to delivering Asher, I was only in labor for 10 and a half hours. Now, I know I say only 10 and a half hours, but listen, it is not bad. That epidural, get it. I could not wait to get that. So I was afraid of it, but now I'm just like, man, like I would actually do labor again. It wasn't bad at all. What's your favorite TV show? Boy Meets World. It will always be Boy Meets World. I loved it as a kid. I watched it again whenever I was pregnant, and that's one of the TV shows that I can't wait for Asher to be old enough to watch because I actually own the entire series. Like, I love it that much. Do you and Whitney Simmons know each other? You always seem to hype each other up. Okay, no, we don't. I've never met her. I don't think I will ever meet her. But, you know, like, me and her kind of have, like, the same mentality where, like, women hype up other women. Like, you're supposed to boost each other. You're supposed to help each other. You know, like, you really want to, like, hype each other up. Because, like, that's what it's all about. That's what fitness is all about. That's what social media should be all about. So, we do that a lot. But, no, I've never met her. Like, we're not actually friends or anything. Like, just, like, going back and forth, basically, on comments. What's your favorite workout band? I love Suzie. Suzie Fitness Bands, definitely the best. I don't know how many I own. I keep buying more because she keeps releasing amazing designs. But I will link that below for her website if you are interested. I do love her glute bands. I do love her long bands. I have used her ankle straps. And you're not going to find better quality product than her stuff. Do you have TikTok? I do. I probably just got a TikTok, I'd say, within the last month, maybe month. No. I was still going through chemo. So I want to say it was probably about April that I set up a TikTok account. And I'm just now starting to use it a lot more than what I did whenever I first started. But yeah, check it out. There it is. Best underwear to avoid camel toe. I personally like Victoria's Secret, no show, seamless, anything. I wear the thongs, I wear the cheekies. Like, those are definitely like my favorite ones to wear, even if I'm not working out. You know, they just kind of like seem to really keep everything under control, so to speak. So check them out. Thank you for being a real influencer. I love you. Oh, I love you too. I mean, of course I'm going to be a real influencer. What's the point of sharing my journey and sharing everything if I have to lie about it? You know, like, we're real here, regardless if it's on my YouTube channel or my Instagram account or my TikTok or basically anywhere else. I'm a hot mess, guys. I don't even try to pretend that I'm not. So, I love you too. I'm so sorry you have to go through cancer. I couldn't imagine not having boobs. Really? Don't apologize. Like, okay. I understand where you're coming from, and I do appreciate, like, your empathy, but you don't have to feel sorry about it. Honestly, they're just boobs. if I lost an arm or a leg, then yeah, you know, feel sorry about that. I kind of need these. But my boobs didn't serve any purpose whenever I had them because of chemo. Like, I never got my milk. So I'm not really sad to see them go. And I didn't really have boobs until I was pregnant anyway, so it's not like I'm really missing out on anything. I'm basically how I was in high school. So don't feel sorry. It's okay. I wouldn't wish this on anybody else. Like, I really feel like people wouldn't be able to handle everything as well as I do. But it's okay. Like, don't worry. I'm okay. Like, I don't try to pretend to be happy. I'm just naturally happy. Okay, so last question. What is your favorite brands of makeup? Okay, so I'm technically, like, I'm that girl who doesn't know how to apply makeup. Like, I don't use foundation. I don't know how to contour my makeup. I don't know anything. Like, I don't. But I do love Anastasia Beverly Hills for my eyeshadows. Like, that is definitely the best brand, followed by Urban Decay. I will use CoverGirl eyeliner, just the black eyeliner. I like the Unique 40 mascara. And whenever it comes to, like, liquid eyeliner, like, especially do, like, the wings and stuff on your top lid, I just get whatever. Like, I've used Unique, I've used CoverGirl. I think I used Urban Decay once. To me, liquid eyeliner is liquid eyeliner, so I'm not picky about that. But if I had to, like, pick, like, what I use every time, it's definitely the CoverGirl eyeliner, the Unique 40 mascara, and Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow. I love the palettes, and I love how the colors pop. So, that's for all your questions. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This was a little different, but I feel like having a girl chat every now and then is always good and healthy, and I feel like it helps you guys. So, if there's anything else you want to know, just ask away. I will probably just do, like, Instagram QA the next time, because I only try to really do, like, QAs on YouTube, like, once a quarter. And because we're in summer, this is going to be the summer one. And I probably won't do another one until maybe, I don't know, maybe like closer to the end of the year. Or maybe like around Halloween. I don't know. They're just kind of sporadic. So just keep an eye out on my Instagram stories for like a YouTube QA or just like an Instagram QA. But they're always on my, always on my story. You know, I don't make them in a post. So keep a lookout. And if you don't follow me, you should, because you're really missing out, let me tell you. But that's going to be it for this video. So, thanks for your questions. I had a lot of fun answering them. And like always, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.